Welcome to WEFM's 3 p.m. News. I am your presenter, Jessica Klein. First, on the local scene. A call for cooperation in identifying perpetrators of bushfires has been made to the Vincentian public by the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Fire Service. Head of the SVG Fire Service, Superintendent of Police Joel James, while on WEFM's Cop Chat program, appealed to those who know the identity of the persons setting these fires and warned that there are legal ramifications for them. We hear more from the head of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Fire Service.
What is most difficult for us is that we are unable to reach the perpetrators. They do not listen to us now, Crystal. They are not listening to us. So I want persons who are listening, you may know some of these perpetrators, speak to them and call us as well so that we can speak to them as well. I also want you to know that if you are caught setting these fires, you can and will be charged.
That was the head of the SVG Fire Service, Superintendent of Police, Joel James. According to the Superintendent of Police, Joel James, bushfires are more prevalent on mainland St. Vincent than in the Grenadines. Prime Minister to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, has said that social solidarity in fighting crime has been undermined by a model of political economy-based dog-eat-dog capitalism, stating that authorities have to follow the money. During talks at the CARICOM Crime Symposium, the Prime Minister said that persons complain across the Caribbean that the small man is caught, but Mr. Big escapes because they are linking the crime naturally, and there's much linkage between that and drugs or other kinds of economic activity from the proceeds of crime. He said that he has been saying some very uncomfortable things, but that the issue would not be addressed unless spoken about, followed by action being taken regionally in relation to these uncomfortable matters. Still on the local scene, Mexico's First Lady, Beatriz Gutierrez Mula, has donated a set of equipment towards the digitization of the archives in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. In reference to Searchlight News, the First Lady was on a brief visit to SVG on April 19th and handed over the equipment from the United Mexican States to the National Archives at a ceremony held at the National Public Library. Present at the ceremony was Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, Minister of Foreign Affairs Kiesel Peters, Minister of Education Curtis King, Chief of Education Officer K. Martin Jack, Director of Libraries Michelle King Campbell, and other representatives from the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. On the regional scene, a plea for additional psychologists to be placed in schools by the Barbados Union of Teachers, BUT, has received full support from the Chief Executive Officer, CEO, of Supreme Counseling for Personal Development, Sean Clark. According to Barbados Today, Clark stated that he has been advocating for more psychologists in schools since the resumption of face-to-face classes following the COVID-19 pandemic. According to Clark, whose organization manages an anti-bullying prevention program in several secondary schools, the Ministry of Education in Barbados recently placed counselors and safety officers at some schools. During an address on Monday at the opening of the BUT's annual general conference, which took place at the Radisson Aquatica, President of the Ministry of Education, Rudy Lovell, said that the increase in incidents of violence in schools led to an urgent need to hire additional psychologists since the present complement was woefully inadequate. Lovell, who also called for an increased effort to provide psychological support to at-risk students and their parents, suggested that more guidance counselors, support services, and safety officers should be assigned to all schools. Still on the regional scene, The United States Coast Guard has intercepted 40 illegal Caribbean migrants, including a minor female, in Mona Passage waters near Puerto Rico between Tuesday and Wednesday. St. Lucia Times reports state that late Sunday night, the aircrew of a Customs and Border Protection multi-role enforcement aircraft detected a makeshift vessel north of Mona Island, Puerto Rico. Coast Guard cutter Kathleen Moore carried out the interception that revealed 40 migrants, some of Haitian nationality and some of the Dominican Republic. The migrants were safely removed from their 20-foot wooden vessel, and a call to the halt in the illegal migration has been reinstated. And finally, on the international scene, police in Canada are investigating the circumstances surrounding a massive gold heist in Toronto Pearson International Airport, a location often used to ship gold mined in the province of Ontario. According to Canadian officials, more than 20 million Canadian dollars worth of gold and valuables was stolen on Monday, April 17, 2023. Reports are that an aircraft container carried the goods at the airport in the evening and were transported to a cargo holding facility. Police believe that is where the heist took place. Peel Regional Police Inspector Stefan Duvestein said their team is investigating all avenues and described Monday's incident as isolated and rare. Officials have refused to say what airline shipped the cargo, where the load had come from, or where it was intended. This has been WEFM's 3 p.m. news. I have been your presenter, Jessica Klein. Join us again at 5:30 for WEFM's evening news, and we thank you for listening.